Peace in the Middle East. Okay. Well, I'll see it before I believe it. Okay. I'll see it before I believe it. Peace in the Middle East. But Donald Trump went to Saudi Arabia. Did McDonald's have a role in maybe appeasing Trump? I mean, I don't know. Maybe McDonald's did. I know. Why am I talking about McDonald's? You'd be like, Kit, why are you talking about McDonald's? Why are you talking about McDonald's? Here. Well, it's only 7 seconds. Okay. Did McDonald's help bring in peace? I don't know. Now I'm tempted to get a McDonald's burger. There you go. One more time. One more time for the people in the back, in case you missed it. All right. It's McDonald's. It's McDonald's. McDonald's. I know. Hold on. Let me just rewind this again. Sorry about that. The video isn't working right. McDonald's. So what's going on here? Well, Trump's been talking about a peace deal, offering a new vision of peace through strength, peace, and more results. So I just want to pull up this video here. And did McDonald's help? Well, we'll get more into Mickey D's later, okay? And if you got a hankering for Mickey D's, just remember, it's pretty expensive to buy McDonald's now. Remember it used to be cheap?
What a great place, but more importantly, what great people. I want to thank His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, for that incredible introduction. He's an incredible man. Known him a long time now. There's nobody like him. Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much, my friend. And it's a tremendous honor to return to this beautiful kingdom and be welcomed back with such extraordinary generosity and warmth. I've never forgotten the exceptional hospitality showed to us by King Solomon, who's just, we talk about a great man. That is a great man. That is a great man, a great family. Now, that visit took place exactly 8 years ago. The graciousness of the royal family and the Saudi people is really unsurpassed, no matter where you go.
All right, so what's going on here? What's going on here indeed? Well, first of all, before we play any more videos, I think it's important for us to just kind of look at what's happening in a bonanza for the arms industry. Trump announces a record $142 billion in weapons sale. Okay, did that happen? Well, in what the White House described as the largest defense sale in history, U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday announced a deal for prolific human rights violator Saudi Arabia to purchase $142 billion worth of arms from a dozen different American companies. The White House unveiled the sale as Trump visited Saudi leaders, including Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, in the kingdom's capital in the city of Riyadh, on the first leg of the Mideast tour, which stops also in schedule including Qatar and the United Arab Emirates. This all has to deal with the investment of peace. The agreement is also part of a broader Saudi commitment to invest $600 billion in the United States, which the United States will strengthen our energy security, defense industry, technology leadership, and access to global infrastructure and critical materials. Trump and his relatives, including son-in-law Jared Kushner, enjoy personal and financial relations with the Saudi royal family, which has poured billions of dollars into their business ventures. During the signing ceremony, Trump, who apparently fell asleep during the proceedings, joked that the Saudis should invest $1 trillion. I don't know. Maybe you got the itis from the Mickey D's. Okay. Maybe indeed. I don't know. Did he fall asleep? It kind of looks like it, but hey, listen, if I was in a different time zone, even I'd be a little sleepy.
Read a lot of the material now out of Saudi Arabia, and Mohammed bin Salman is saying we need a resolution on a Palestinian state. And I don't necessarily recall several years ago, pre-October 7th, as that being a demand that he had necessarily stated publicly. Do you think his position has changed, or do you think the way he has expressed himself has that? Read a lot of the material now out of Saudi Arabia.
Now, do I think Trump fell asleep? I don't know. Let's have democracy in the chat. Type 1 for no, Kit. Trump was just resting his eyes. Type 2. Oh, he was sleeping, baby. He was sleeping, honey child. That's what he was doing. That's what he was doing. But hang on, here we go. Just because we're continuing on with some more of the deals, but just add a little bit of a lightness to the story because again, peace in the Middle East. I'll believe it when hogs can fly. Saudi Arabia has rolled out a mobile McDonald's truck outside the royal court ahead of U.S. President Donald Trump's arrival in Saudi Arabia, of course. A nod to the his well-known love for the Golden Arches. Trump arrived in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday for his first major foreign trip after returning to the White House. He signed a strategic economic partnership deal, which would see the Saudis investing some $600 billion in energy, defense, mining, space sectors in the U.S. A short video of McDonald's double-decker trailer parked outside the media hub called Media Oasis, where journalists covering Trump's visit to Riyadh were stationed, was posted on social media earlier in the day. Conservative journalist Benny Johnson, who was among those who shared the clip, wrote that Saudi Arabia brought in the mobile McDonald's for President Trump on his visit. Some online commenters described the move by the Saudis as a charming gesture and an ultimate sign of hospitality. But the most frequent comment was, "I'm loving it." You know what? I'm not even mad. It's fine. You know what? If President Trump likes McDonald's, fine. If it brings peace in the Middle East, I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. Trump once said in an interview that the Big Macs are great. The Quarter Pounder is great stuff. While his former campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, claimed in his book, Let Trump Be Trump, that his typical diet during the race for the White House in 2016 included 2 Big Macs, 2 filet of fish, and a chocolate malt. During his first term, Trump ordered burgers for the National College Football Champions, the Clemson Tigers, who visited the White House. According to his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, the president also asked for McDonald's after his recovery from COVID-19 in 2020. And of course, we all know that Trump was working at McDonald's during the 2024 election cycle. Say it with me, folks. Is anyone surprised anymore? But let's also just read a little bit more about this deal that Trump made. There's a couple more videos from Vigilant Fox. So let's go ahead and play this, shall we?
And it's crucial for the wider world to note this great transformation has not come from Western interventionalists or flying people in beautiful planes giving you lectures on how to live and how to govern your own affairs. No, the gleaming marvels of Riyadh and Abu Dhabi were not created by the so-called nation builders, neocons, or liberal nonprofits like those who spent trillions and trillions of dollars failing to develop Kabul, Baghdad, so many other cities. Instead, the birth of a modern Middle East has been brought by the people of the region themselves, the people that are right here, the people that have lived here all their lives, developing your own sovereign countries, pursuing your own unique visions and charting your own destinies in your own way. It's really incredible what you've done. In the end, the so-called nation builders wrecked far more nations than they built, and the interventionists were intervening in complex societies that they did not even understand themselves. They told you how to do it, but they had no idea how to do it themselves. Peace, prosperity, and progress ultimately came not from a radical rejection of your heritage, but rather from embracing your national traditions and embracing that same heritage that you love.
Just a quick reminder, Saudi Arabia has had a history of human rights violations, and a couple other things here. And of course, during that same meeting where Trump was speaking before Saudi Arabia, he had his choice words for Iran. So let's go ahead and just pull this up here too, okay? Because at the end of the day, Trump is trying to get a peace deal, right? But what's the cost of it?
Yet I'm here today not merely to condemn the past chaos of Iran's leaders, but to offer them a new path and a much better path toward a far better and more hopeful future. As I've shown repeatedly, I am willing to end past conflicts and forge new partnerships for a better and more stable world even if our differences may be very profound, which obviously they are in the case of Iran. I have never believed in having permanent enemies. I am different than a lot of people think. I don't like permanent enemies, but sometimes you need enemies to do the job, and you have to do it right. Enemies get you motivated. In fact, some of the closest friends of the United States of America are nations we fought wars against in generations past. Now they're our friends and our allies. I want to make a deal with Iran. If I can make a deal with Iran, I'll be very happy. If we're going to make your region and the world a safer place. But if Iran's leadership rejects this olive branch and continues to attack their neighbors, then we will have no choice but to inflict massive maximum pressure, drive Iranian oil exports to zero, like I did before. You know that they were a virtually bankrupt country because of what I did. They had no money for terror. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, and take all action required to stop the regime from ever having a nuclear weapon. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
Interesting. Interesting indeed, right? Shall we? And you see Elon Musk in the background there too. Not an official person, but also, let's be clear here. The one last final message is for peace in the Middle East. Why? Because it relates to what's happening in Gaza too. Okay, I just want to pull this up here for everybody to see.
As President of the United States, my preference will always be for peace and partnership whenever those outcomes can be achieved. Always. It's always going to be that way. Only a fool would think otherwise. In recent years, far too many American presidents have been afflicted with the notion that it's our job to look into the souls of foreign leaders and use U.S. policy to dispense justice for their sins. They loved using our very powerful military, and now it's really the most powerful it's ever been. As President of the United States.
Now, real quick here, I just want to just pull this up here, all right? Because I don't know if this is anything that's reaching him. This is a retweet from JB. Is he serious or bullshitting us? I'm leaning towards the latter, but I've been wrong before.
When Gaza came up, and I said, gotta be good to Gaza. Those people are suffering. We got to be good to Gaza. We're going to take care of them. There's a very big need for medicine, food and medicine, and we're taking care of it.
In terms of like opening up more access points or
very hard.
Pushing the Israelis?
We are.
To open up more access
very
points?
hard to get food and medicine into Gaza.
How did the Prime Minister respond to that?
Well, felt well about
it. Interesting. Because perhaps, Trump is like, all right, you got India and Pakistan. You got Ukraine, Russia. You got potential maybe with China, Taiwan. Then you got this thing in Gaza. The crisis, the genocide in Gaza. Netanyahu must now work for support of U.S. as Trump tires of Israel's war in Gaza. Trump's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, didn't mince his words in a meeting late on Sunday with former hostages and relatives of those still held in Gaza. He told Israel is drawing out of a war that the U.S. wants to end, local media reported. On the eve of the release of Eden Alexander, the last living American being held by Hamas, Witkoff spelled out the gulf between his boss and the government of Benjamin Netanyahu. We want to bring the hostages home, but Israel's not willing to end the war. Israel's prolonging it, despite the fact that we don't see where else we can go and what an agreement must be reached. Witkoff told the meeting, according to Channel 12 television, quoting sources who were present. It was the latest in a series of high-profile, high-stakes snubs from the White House, which is that Israel's most important ally is frustrated with its government and possibly losing interest in its fortunes. Trump's not against Israel, but he doesn't care about Israel, said Alan Pincus, a former Israeli diplomat. Oh, I beg to differ. AIPAC's involved in D.C., way intertwined. As far as Trump is concerned, Netanyahu has become an irritant that doesn't contribute to the bank account. Trump may have not embarked on open attacks that have characterized his relationship with other leaders fighting the war he wants to end, such as Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky and Russia's Vladimir Putin. But recent policy moves have undermined Israel's security, weakened its diplomatic standing, and flown against Israeli defense policy, particularly over how to handle Iran. Last week, Trump announced a ceasefire deal with an Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen, which excluded Israel. He described the Houthi rebels as brave just days before one of their missiles hit Israel's main airport, prompting many international airlines to suspend flights. Houthi attacks on Israel have continued. He has previously dismissed Israeli calls for military action against Iran and said of opening talks with Tehran on ending its nuclear program. So, what can we take away from Trump's Middle Eastern envoy tour? He wants the wars to end. He wants the wars to end, or either that he's trying to do whatever he can to make sure that they are no longer in his rearview mirror. But see, the thing is, war's a racket. There's money to be made. Once one war ends, another one begins. How many wars do we have now going on? We got 3. Don't worry. There's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wait, there already are. You got Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Ukraine, Russia, India, Pakistan, Taiwan, China. Why is everyone in such a rush for war? But if McDonald's can bring peace, fine. Saudi Arabia. Deliver a tribute of McDonald's to Donald Trump, and maybe there could be peace. Maybe that's how we end the war in Gaza. Maybe it's McDonald's that will save the day. What kind of timeline are we in here? No, seriously, what kind of timeline are we in here, folks? McDonald's? Is this what's happening? And the thing is, Cobra Commander, y'all dumb as F. This is not peace. Absolutely. This is Trump's plan put for 10 years of a 2-state solution, which again, Israel is very has said no. They're never going to do a 2-state solution. So, is there going to be peace? Will there be peace? I'm pressing X to doubt. I'm pressing X to doubt. Simple as that. With that being said, oh, wait, you know what? I'm not going to say that. That is a 50-50 shot. But, don't worry. It'll reignite again.